I think that's a fair analysis there, Bryce. I can see this going a 4, but you know what? I think we're going to see this one go the distance one more time. I think that Aries is going to take a lead, like a 2-1 lead on Jackimus, and then Jackimus is going to turn on the afterburners and just pull away, win convincingly at the end, and make it a 3-2 win. But this could go either way. It really could.
Maybe it's, again, personal experience coming into play. I'm calling for the Jackimus sweep.
Well, I mean, that could definitely be an outcome, but first things first, guys. We are underway, and I'm assuming there will be a realignment. For the first time in history, Jack's feet is actually ahead of his opponents. You'll never see that again. Shouldn't take the over on that.
Absolutely. Here they both have their razor shields to start things off. Jackimus right in the right for the start. And Aries going to go ahead, burn that shield off, go stay in the center of the room. We'll see how that plays out. And look at this. It's going to be Aries with the hole shot.
Yeah, slight lead there for Aries. Going to be, oh, I don't know, last Burgundy on that, but what the way to see what the drop is. Really more important than the first room.
Certainly there. A 2-second lead. It was a low 39, a very impressive time there for Aries. So yeah, opening drop and vulnerability for Aries. Jackimus gets a foot, so nothing really to write home about for either player.
You really want to see that foot first and then a vulnerability, but that's what you want to see on Jack's side. Now watch this rocket control. Although now he can just go ham. There's a rocket refill. He's really good at these individual rocket shots.
Yeah, these are great drops. Aries ended up getting his first, and more rockets. The triple vitamin R for Jackimus, and more rockets. The quad. Are you kidding me? So Jackimus gonna have a full complement going into Eat My Shrapnel, and Aries gonna find himself about 3 seconds back, and no weapon to take with him. But neither player has an orb.
One thing I will say, Jack maybe had to do a little too much hunting to get those rockets under control, so he wasn't able to take full advantage.
And now look at this, the rich getting richer here as Jackimus is going to pick up an orb in the center of the room. Eat My Shrapnel, we have to take care of 18 of the Mr. Shrapnel dudes, only 4 maximum on the screen at a time, so damage control, oh so important in this room to avoid losing time.
Absolutely, as you see, Aries right now struggling to keep the room under control due to no orb or weapons helping. Probably has to start using that vulnerability here.
Jackimus first into total carnage with a 207. Aries did a great job with what was given to him. He's still only 3 seconds back, but as we all like to know, the longer that Aries goes without that orb, the bigger that lead Jackimus could obtain, provided he keeps that orb.
Indeed, and he had a little trouble against Scotty here and there, but ultimately was able to work and make it work, and thus far seems to be doing a good job just holding the middle, ignoring the bad stuff, and keeping the enemy away.
Right now, Aries is just fishing for an orb, but here's Jackimus dropping the orb.
He drops it and lands on Aries' side. This is a swing.
That's
a get there.
Nice, and he gets a razor shield, so we could potentially see the lead changing hands, and now rockets for Aries. My goodness.
Well, this invulnerability is a nice one for Jack. At least something here. And now he gets the orb back. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack still has the lead after this. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. There are rockets available. Can he get to him? He's dancing dangerous, but he makes it work.
And Aries going to get some rockets here, and Jackimus will have that half a clip, 311. But Aries maintains it's still about a 3.5 second lead for Jackimus, but advantage Jack is because of the rockets. He's going to have 4 tank trouble, as it's time for the first time tonight to have, Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Well, something about Mucho Burrito. But regardless of that, Jackimus with those rockets, provided he's not sabotaged, will easily kill these gunners. And actually, he's missed the one on the right.
Wow, that's unexpected there. So a little bit of a mistake there for Jackimus trying to get that last gunner down. So we'll see how this plays out. Aries having to do a lot of dancing and drops that orb.
And Jack is actually doing what he would do normally, where he would just ignore both. This time he's ignoring one, waiting for a better drop. There's the rockets. Gets it, doesn't lose the orb. There goes the gunner.
So really good job, really good patience there by Jackimus, keeping control of the middle of the room here. Aries doing everything he can with what's given to him, but he had an invulnerability, which he was able to take down the other gunners, but all he's getting after that is nothing but dudes! And look at this, he's got the Gorlock special, Bryce Ulf.
You hate to see it in an easy run like this. where you get max lives. And Jack, by the way, has PB potential on the board.
Yeah, 82nd Mutoid Man, and he would PB. He had a 425 entry, but if he can get a 75-second to Mutoid Man fight, well, that doesn't help a key drop.
That does, though. Oh, he's player 2. Doesn't help him at all.
No. The one time you see a perfect location for a spreader, and it's player 2 that has it because, let's face it, the game knows. Meanwhile, Aries finishing off the room with this spreader here. He's going to find himself about 34 and a half seconds behind Jackimus, but he's definitely not out of it. He could get some use of that spreader, perhaps.
He's got to have a clip there. He could try to manual it when Mutoid enters the room. He does not vibrate back and forth. He's going to have to contend with the gunners, though, and he is going for it. So he's landing some shots, gets some of it in there, but does die before getting a form change.
Yeah, it's tough to get a form change when you have those gunners shooting right at you, and vulnerability would have went a long ways. Gets a grenade, followed that up by rockets. Rockets should take down the gunners, but didn't need that anyway, as the rib cage pops open for Jackimus. Now a lobber for Aries.
And it's about a 2-form lead here. Jack, though, waiting on a weapon, finally gets grenades. Back-to-back lobbers for Aries. Gets the second arm popped. Has gained a bit of ground, but it's still over a form, I'd say, at this point.
Well, Jackimus going to now pick up the lobbers as the head pops off. Aries needs to see a spreader right here, I'd have to say. Instead, the spreader falls on Jackimus' side. He's looking really good to win this.
He's looking like a lock. He's going to get a bunch of transition damage here. That lobber may not even be necessary, but he's going to take it for the bigger damage. It's going to be like 10 more. Yeah, not even 10. One more shot. Done. Boom. See you next week. Jackimus taking the opening match here.
Absolutely here. Jackimus winning game number 1 rather convincingly at the end as well. Remember, it was about a 4-second gap between the fight, but the weapons clearly favoring Jackimus there. Aries never saw another spreader, and you'll probably see one when it's way too late.
Honestly, one of the biggest keys to that matchup right there was Jack doing a spreader early, that one that landed for the player 1 drop. He was able to manual with it and used it quite a bit, landed some shots, and then got the next weapon, the lobber, as it was the last frame flashing out of existence. Perfect grab, and he was able to make good use of what he was given. 6:25, that's a solid race time.
You better believe it is. Burgundy, your thoughts about what you just saw in race number 1?
Well, Jackimus, he's certainly putting the pressure on AriesFireTiger. I mean, finishing just 7 seconds shy of Aries PB. It's definitely going to put the heat on, and just like that, we are up 1-0.
Absolutely, Burgundy. I mean, when you're putting times that are very close to your opponent's PB, yeah, you're putting a lot of heat on that opponent there. And if Jackimus keeps putting up times like this, Aries could play at his best, and it may not even matter.
I know that feeling all too well.
The crazy thing is, you don't even know that, because he really did not start playing particularly well until his last matchup, where he started to take things a little more seriously. So good on Jack for doing that, and he looks focused tonight.
Yeah, he looked really sharp, you know, and other than dropping the orb in Total Carnage, he pretty much played more or less a really, really good game. Ooh, so we have another channel prediction on the board for you people here on GG Speedruns. Who's going to get the orb drop first in race number 2, Jack or Aries? What happens if it's a tie?
We'll have to frame counted clearly.
Exactly. Oh, that could get interesting if they had, like, let's say, a similar arena 1, and then the orb drops on both sides. I think in that case, it's going to have to come down to who grabs it first.
I'm going to have to get somebody to handle the countdown for the next race. I'm having some difficulty. My text on Discord is being weird. I'm unable to see if anything's typing or not, and my messages don't seem to be going through.
I'll get it, Bryce.
Thank you very much. That is strange.
Oh, yeah, same thing's happening with me. I'm putting in a message, and it's not sticking.
Well, that's bizarre. Apparently, yeah, it's happening to Aries as well. So it's, for once, maybe not my internet. Shocking, I know.
Nope, it's Discord being Discord. You know, towards the end of my Pressure Luck tournament on Saturday afternoon, we were getting all kinds of Discord problems. So you know what? This doesn't surprise me one bit, Brysolf.
Well, this is a bit of an issue. This is where we handle all the stuff in the matchup channel over on my Discord. So gonna have to wait and see how we're gonna do this if that's the case. I saw Mr. Dino type something, but it's not coming up. So Discord is completely decided to go on vacation.
Yep, it most certainly has, Brysolf. Yep, I just typed in the message on Discord, and the letters turned red. Not good.
We'd like to apologize for that. We didn't know that Discord was off.
Oh, Dino can type. Okay.
Well, if Dino can tap, let's have him. Hey, let's have him do the countdown then, because I can see it.
Can Jack and Aries type though? Because they also have to indicate they're ready.
Yeah, I can see Mr. Dino and only Mr. Dino, because I just tried typing something else again. It's going to turn red. But yeah, Mr. Dino, lucky. He's lucky.
Apparently, our restreamer, Mr. Dino, stating as GG Speedruns, it takes about a minute for it to show. So, yeah, we're getting red messages all over the place here. Big money, big prizes, big delays. I don't love it.
I don't love it either. Just bear with us here while we figure this out. In the meantime, guys, why don't you run down the upcoming matchups that we do know about in the tournament on the challenge bracket?
Absolutely. So the winner of this race will go on to take on the 8-seeded Telio 1 in one of the bonus bracket money rounds. Also, we have the winner of that. They will take on the winner of Mr. Dino 023 and Zexy. That's the 5 and 6 seed matchup. Meanwhile, over on the bottom edge of the lower bracket, things a little bit less chalk as we've got the 22-seeded Firebroth taking on the 20-seeded Oopla. And then the winner of that will take on the winner of the 10-seeded ET Go Ham and the 27-seeded Aquas. Meanwhile, on the upper half of the bracket, well, things have been chalk thus far as we've got the number 1 seed Brysolf. He'll be taking on the 4 seed Prince Leaf. And the loser of that will fall into the 6th round of the bonus bracket. And considering that we're round 4, they've got a little time for things to shake out. Then on the other end of the upper bracket, we have CHX42, the 2 seed, taking on 40 Watt Range, the 3 seed. The winner would advance to the top bracket semifinals. The loser would fall and take on one of the 5 between Mr. Dino, Zexy, Telio, Jackimus, and Aries, depending on how that all shakes out.
Yeah, that's right. The top bracket semifinals would essentially be the winners' finals in that particular case. And yeah, between those 4 runners, I wouldn't want to face any of them. I mean, you look at 40 Watt Range, who was pretty much slammed against the wall against the Cinderella story of Firebroth, and he was but a form away from being swept 4-0. But Mutoid Man hitboxed Firebroth when he had plenty of lobbers left and only a little bit of HP. An empty drop followed. That enabled 40 Watt to sneak in the back door in game number 4, and it was all downhill from there for Firebroth, and then it ended up being the first ever reverse sweep of a best-of-7 series that 40 Watt Range ended up pulling off there.
All right, so I have added them into a direct message here between the 3 of us on my own, and looking at it, should be able to do it there. So the matchup channel will be abandoned. I will be getting them underway with a 3-person direct message here. So I will get them readied up, and we'll get underway here for game number 2.
Sounds good to me. Whenever there's a will, there is a way. So we thank you very much for your patience, but game number 2 will be coming up between Jackimus and AriesFireTiger. Stand by.
don't know if you saw it, there was some graphics up on the screen there along with the bracket, I believe. So that was interesting. But regardless, they both are ready. I will get them underway for game number 2 here in this best of 5. Who's going to take this one? Cards and then Burgundy.
I know I had said that AriesFireTiger was going to take a 2-game to 1 lead coming into this, and I got to stick with my gut instinct, in spite of the fact that Jackimus played extremely well in game number 1. I got this hunch. Just got this hunch that Jackimus might have a letdown game here. So I am going to say the Aries will tie it up here.
I'm sticking with my original pick. I'm going with the Jackimus sweep here and hoping that my luck is better than Cards Fans Press Your Luck tournament over the weekend.
Oh, absolutely here. Yes, Furran was a part of my Press Your Luck tournament, but unfortunately, he was one of, get this, 12 whammy outs throughout the entire tournament, which is a new record. Yikes. In any event, it's time for game number 2 of the Super Smash TV tournament between Jackimus and Aries. Both of them have their Razor Shields. And again, we have Jackimus going all over the place with that Razor Shield. Aries keeping control of the middle.
Although Jack did get a bit of a break there. Part of the broken shield took out the door on the left, getting a nice group of enemies. You can see it paid off nicely, and he will have the whole shot here.
Yeah, he certainly will. Would have been a little bit faster, but that one of those foot soldiers decided to get a little bit elusive there, but he's still going to have about a second lead on Aries going into collect power-ups. So, channel predictions very much in play. Jackimus might have the first look here. What is it going to be? It's a foot for Jackimus versus a spreader for Aries. So a little bit of a better drop there for Aries.
Jack, I'm assuming, is going to ignore that grenade. He tends to not chase the orb. He lets it come to him. See if that pays off for him here. But grenades again, and here's the orb on Aries' side.
So it is going to be Aries with the first orb. So if anybody said Aries gets the first orb of the match, you're going to win some sweet channel points.
Now getting that Razor Shield there, Burgundy. You gotta love that setup he's got going there.
Well, chat, enjoy my points, because apparently I was the only one who picked Jackimus.
And you can see, though, despite the advantage, Aries not getting a massive lead out of it, but does take the lead.
About a 2-second lead, and Jackimus is still orbless. Well, now Aries is orbless as the swirl takes away his orb.
Got a little too rambunctious at the start there. He swung himself at a door, and then he was scrambling, and he paid the price.
Meanwhile, it's Vitamin R now for Jackimus, a Razor Shield for Aries. But now again, we have both players that are without an orb. We'll see if that spells doom for Aries, or if the game decides to be generous and give him a replacement. But still no orb for Jackimus. But again, the weapons have been good enough that he's not needed the orb to keep this under control. But there is an orb replacement now for Aries and rockets.
This is something I don't like about how Jack plays it. He rides those rockets, doesn't pick up other drops to chase the orb when he needs it. So if he doesn't get one in total carnage, he's going to start losing time. It's a bit of a risky move on his part.
In spite of that, yeah, Jackimus actually did pick up a second on Aries. It's a 1-second lead, but again, still no orb. The longer he goes without that orb, Aries could build the lead provided he keeps the orb. That was dangerous. Almost lost that orb grabbing that Razor Shield.
It was a little over-aggressive, but he made it work, so you can't argue with the results. And here's an orb now for Jack. Bit of a dicey grab, no problem, and now back to the middle.
Yeah, that's a great pickup there. Jackimus might have a chance to keep that lead depending on how the weapon drops go for both players. Aries again keeping that middle with 3/5 of that Razor Shield left. Foot for Jackimus. Now rockets for Aries. Now he can shred these enemies.
He's been a little heavy-handed with his distribution on them, but it won't matter. He's going to take the lead here into the bonus room. He was getting close to a leaf edit on the mine there. Oh, and Jack doesn't recognize the room's over. He could have nuked. Bit of a mistake there. Cost him a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's going to turn into a 7-second lead for Aries as it's time once again for Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell.
Although I did see CHX pimping out RC Cola earlier with the shirt that said, I'd buy that for $1.
Imagine that, buying RC Cola for $1. In any event, a nuke on the feed for Aries will be able to take down one of the gunners. Another nuke, he'll take down the other. Wow.
Now let's see if Jack goes with his ignore the gunners till he gets something decent. He is kind of shooting at them a little bit here. And now rockets for Aries. Wow.
Yeah, the rich getting richer here as Aries picking up rockets, but now the Swarmers are starting to close in on him. Jackimus doing a better job keeping control of the middle, and now he's rewarded with Vitamin R.
And he is quite good with the distribution on those generally. Runs out so fast with that orb, but still, he shredded through a lot of enemies there with what he had on the clip.
Oh, and then Aries gets overpowered in the middle, loses his orb, and then subsequently loses his life. More rockets for Jackimus. We've got a lead change. It's 4:31 into Mutoid Man.
Not much of a lead change, though.
No.
What's it going to be? 5 seconds here. So that's one empty drop or just one decent spreader drop location. Jack does have these rockets, though, and will be able to kill the gunners in short order.
Aries also has 2/3 of a rocket clip, but he will not be able to get the ball buster. Jackimus doesn't get the ball buster either.
Jack got his balls busted there because he just got punched by Mutoid Man.
Yeah, he most certainly did there. A grenade's there for Aries, so these drops are nothing to write home about for either player. More grenades now for Jackimus. Spreader now for Aries. Gonna have to go for the manual here.
He is, and he actually could have gone for the second one on a death, but chose to keep going manual style. He's doing a decent job at this second one. He landed some good stuff there, as you can see the second arm coming
Yeah,
off.
he's in the lead now. Not by much.
That key didn't mean a whole lot there against Jack. Oh, Aries dies going for the grenade.
Wow.
Mutoid sits on it.
Ooh.
And invulnerability for Jack, though, so it doesn't really cost Aries. And he gets a spreader. He will not be able to use much of this invulnerability. Jack had the same problem.
Wow.
The invulnerability hanging around.
Talk about inopportune spreaders for both players, but it is Aries who is going to keep the lead by a little bit. We're now allowed.
But the weapons are favoring Jack here.
Yes.
Aries takes a death and will get that lobber, but Jack takes the lead here, head pop first.
Yeah, retakes the lead back and forth. Now a spreader for Aries. He is.
Oh, this is gonna be too late, I think.
No, he's got it.
Oh,
He got
gets
it.
He
Wow.
gets it. Can he get the transfer to the final
Now
four?
Jackimus gets a spreader of his own. Yeah, the transfer damage runs over. Aries won't get to that spreader. Transfer damage is going to determine whether or not Jackimus is going to pull this one off.
And he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it because of the rockets. He should get it, and he does. Last second gasp, double transition stuff going on, but Jack gets it done when Aries dies, going for a weapon.
And, oh man, Aries was that close to taking game number 2, but instead his back is against the wall. He's down 2-0. What a game, though. Got game number 2. That lead went back and forth so many times.
A seesaw battle for sure, and it ended about 11 seconds apart. And man, it is close. I'm starting to wonder. I know I called for the sweep here, but Aries is proving me if it's going to be a sweep, it's going to be a doggone close one.
Yeah, you know what, though? I am now going to agree with you, Burgundy. I do now think this is going to be a sweep, because the only way this wasn't going to be a sweep is if Aries was going to win game number 2. But no, I think Burgundy is right. Let's see if Aries can prove us both wrong.
We'll have to wait and see, but Aries is now fighting for the tournament life here. Has to win 3 in a row, and as we always say, you got to win the first one before you can worry about the next one. But ultimately, Aries does need to win 3 in a row here to stay in the tournament. Jack is 1 race victory away from moving into the top 12, the money rounds, which will be starting up sometime this week. And we will discuss more about that once this match is over.
Yeah, absolutely here. I mean, we're getting down to it here. And by the way, other than the reverse sweep that 40-watt range did in the best of 7 against Firebroth, there have been no reverse sweeps in the best of 5 rounds. So Aries is going to have to do something that no one has done in this tournament.
We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But I do have to say, for the 40-watt Aries match, high drama, to put it lightly. But there's still a definite chance of a better match in this tournament coming up. You don't want to miss any action. But for now, we worry about the match on hand. We are underway. Game number 3, Jackimus on the left, Aries on the right. Should have had them in the opposite corners based on their player color, but nobody's perfect. Let's see how they do with Arena 1.
So they both have their Razor Shield. Jackimus, again, they're sticking with the same strategy that both of these runners have been sticking with the entire game so far. Let's see who comes out of Arena 1 first. Aries trying to finish off the room here, but it is going to be, I believe, yes it is, Jackimus going to have the whole shot, doing a better job getting the kills down. He's going to be out of there with a 42.5. Aries with a high 43, less than a second and a half.
I do have to say, Jack has had a couple bad rooms for him. He should be getting a 40.x or lower. He's been a little off, maybe a little too aggressive with the movement.
Opening drop rockets for Aries, a foot for Jackimus. So far, weapons favoring Aries. Now he picks up a spreader, then an orb. So right now, the weapons definitely favoring Aries, and a razor shield. My goodness, rich getting richer.
But the good news for Jack is back-to-back spreaders followed by a razor shield. I think he might ignore it. Could be a mistake here. Could have grabbed it and possibly forced with 2 more drops instead of possibly 1. As you can see, though, it will be Aries at a 127 versus a 129.
Yep, a little under 3-second lead for Jackimus, but I'll tell you what, Aries almost lost that orb when he got sabotaged with grenades on the feet, but luckily he was able to keep his distance.
So with that orb in place, he should be good to go. Both getting a razor shield really should be easy for Aries now. Jack, though, on the other hand, has to be forcing drops, looking for that orb.
And if it wasn't easier already for Aries, it got even easier with that rocket drop. Now he just has to finish off the rest of the Mr. Shrapnels.
He does have a nuke chance. I don't think he can hold it long enough, though, to make it end the room. No, he couldn't, so good that he ignored it. And he's got one more here. Jack also missed the one he had on board. It's 210 versus about a 213, so about no real change there, about 3 seconds to high 2.
Yep, it stayed about the same, so nothing, no harm, no foul for either player. Rockets to start for Jackimus, but a razor shield for Aries, so he'll be able to have a better chance of keeping control of that middle as Jackimus still searching for that orb.
And this is a great setup for Aries. You can really feel safe. Jack almost gets Kerrigan there, and right as the rockets run out, though, another one shows up. That's great for Jack. Keeping him in it.
Absolutely. The weapons have kept Jackimus afloat here. Aries, weapons have kind of dried up for me. Now he's going to get a nuke. That'll give him a little bit of a breather here. Spreader now for Jackimus. A dude for Aries. So weapons, more vitamin R for Jackimus.
And Jack gets taken down by the troll rocket. It's difficult to grab that one, and he went down going for it. You can get it, but it's a difficult move.
Well, this run was Jackimus, but now it's mine.
The run's actually just Jackimus. That's oddly strange. Regardless, Aries first into the bonus room. Jack will be in not far behind, about what, 7 seconds or so, I think.
Yeah, just a shade under 7 seconds behind Aries. No orb. Aries has an orb, but no weapons. As 3 races, 3 times the Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
And I do have to add that Jack is feeling good with those rockets. We'll be able to get rid of both of the gunners here. Let's see what Aries can do at the start. Having trouble getting the gunners and drops the orb. So the advantage swings back to Jack here.
It most certainly does.
Oh, Jack missed.
Second race in a row, Bryce Wolf, that he was not able to, but he still gets, my goodness. If that doesn't say RNG favors the favorites, I don't know what does.
Aries dies getting a spreader. He'll get this orb as a replacement here, but oh boy, things are definitely favoring Jack right at this moment. Might try to ride this. No, just going to use the nuke and see what it has, and Aries couldn't reach that razor shield. That's too bad.
It really is. Could have had a chance to control the middle. Now he loses that orb again. So yeah, Jackimus definitely going to have the lead here. The only question is how much. Jackimus with a 4:25 entry. The second time he has done that in this match. So again, 80-second Mutoid would mean a PB. A 75-second Mutoid would mean a new tournament record.
75-second Mutoid man runs don't grow on trees, but they do happen on occasion, so don't look away.
All right. Let's see if Jackimus does not get the ball buster.
What a ridiculous flex by Mutoid to take out the orb.
Wow, that was like a Goro-style flex that Jackimus just suffered at the hands of Mutoid Man.
Jack has had empty drops in troll positions. He's not really done much damage to Mutoid Man.
Finally, Rockets. Aries was 21 seconds back, but that lead is shrinking.
And the weapons, again, are not ideal for Jack. Rockets, not great until the final form, where they're just better for their range more than anything. These lobbers for Aries getting it done here. As you can see, it's pretty much a dead heat.
Spreader for Aries in a great player 2 position. I bet Jackimus would love to see that, as Aries is going to go for the manuals. He's getting
great manual.
Yes!
And he sees another one. He might have waited too long, though. He
just
missed it. That could have been a turning point right there, but instead, Jackimus still very much in this one.
There we get sniped, and look at this sprinter.
It's a perfect position. Aries is going to retake the lead here. Another spreader.
Dies again. He will not be able to get that one, I don't think.
I'm pretty sure he won't.
Was frozen on my screen, so I don't know.
Yeah, it is frozen on my screen as well, so it's not just you. Unfortunately, we've lost Aries' coverage as Jackimus sees it spread. No.
Jack waited too long there. Oh, boy.
Yep, and unfortunately, there's a lot of drop frames on Aries' side because I did see him back for a little bit as we see lobbers. Spreader for Jackimus.
The timer's what matters here, everyone. Keep an eye on timers if Aries comes back to us here. We'll have to wait and see.
Jackimus is now on the penultimate form, and Aries with lobbers. It looks like I was going to say it looks like he's back, but he's not back.
Jack trying to manual gets taken down there. And I do know who has won this race based on messages here. Looks like Aries is finally back, so let's watch it out here. Look at this. Near sync if you don't look at the timers.
Right. Rockets for Aries on the final form of Mutoid Man here, and Jackimus getting a key. This might be the end of dog racing, as you would say, Bryce, for Jackimus here.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, the fact that Jackimus reset, yep, it's over. Aries has survived and has forced a game number 4. So, well done, Aries. You proved us both wrong.
Take my points, enjoy my points.
So with that, guys, Aries is still in this, staying alive, has won the first of possibly 3 to make the money round. Jack gets another crack, though, to get it done here in game number 4. Hopefully we'll be able to get them lined up here, or the issues are gone on Aries' side. So maybe we can get Aries lined up once we're underway. We'll have to wait and see what Mr. Dino can handle. What do you guys think? Are we going to 5 now? Now that the sweep is off the board and you was both wrong.
You know what? I still think Jackimus is going to win the match, but now I think it's going to go 5. Just like I had said before.
Brysolf knows more about this game than pretty much anybody here, and he was the one who initially said Jackimus in 4. That's what I'm sticking with.
Well, if anybody's going to know results, it's going to be Brysolf here. I mean, he's been at this game for such a long time. I mean, if you're going to have expert analysis, no discount to some of the other top players in the world, but if anybody's going to have the expert analysis, Brysolf's the man.
With that said, I am sticking to my original prediction, but keep in mind, I based it more on the fact that I know my boy Jackimus Wedge, and he will get one Mutoid Man in every matchup that just stinks out loud with bad RNG, and that was it.
Oh, absolutely, that was it, because Aries turned in about a 2-minute fight, and Jackimus just got trolled.
Okay, there's Aries back now. He was really not showing at all for me, and is now about 10 seconds ahead.
So actually, we're going to have to slow down Aries for a little bit here. We'll get them in sync. Hopefully the drop frames issue is finished.
Did Jack die?
I think he did.
Or is he ignoring the razor shield? No, he didn't die because he didn't get a 1-up in this room, so he's just ignoring the razor shield. Interesting strategy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused myself, and it is going to be Aries with the hole shot at a 41. Jackimus with about a 43, 2 seconds.
Now having some real feed issues again from both here, but we are seeing some movement, so let's see what we've got here. Vulnerability versus a foot. Slight advantage Aries perhaps, but only slight.
Now gets the invulnerability, but here's Vitamin R for Jackimus, but not to be outdone in orb for Aries.
And again, Jack is going to be riding the rockets here with accurate fire and gets the orb here in collect power-ups. So Jack in early control just based on generally bettering firing lanes. We'll see if he can make that ring true.
Well, absolutely. He is going to have the lead coming out of collect
Good
power-ups.
Nuke from Aries. Yeah. Great nuke there. That finished the room, and it's tight.
Keeps him less than 2 seconds behind Jackimus going into Eat My Shrapnel.
Both escaped the early swirl and shrapnel barrage. Both should be able to control this room, so Jack should have a slight lead into Total Carnage, barring a disaster.
Yeah, that's absolutely right here. So foot drop for both, ignoring it is Aries. That's in a very bad location here.
Aries a little loose here with his movement. He's a little too active. You just need to hold the middle here, and is now getting himself into dangerous situations.
Yeah, but he does get away with it. Meanwhile, Jackimus going to be able to close the room with rockets. 209 into Total Carnage. He actually gained about a second on Aries there.
Jack didn't do Razorman, and that's what happened. Thank you, Sexy. We're having some difficulty here with what's going on. And Aries gets rockets here. Early weapon advantage. Can he get back to the middle with them?
He does. However, Jackimus is going to have great control of the middle as he picks up a Razor Shield.
We'll have to wait and see if Jack is going to be aggressive with it or be a little more conservative. Generally, he tends to play hyper-aggressive, so we'll have to wait and see what he does.
As you're saying that, you're absolutely right, because almost all of that Razor Shield has melted off for Jackimus.
Well, Aries having a little more trouble, but is maintaining the middle here. Hasn't retreated yet. There is a nuke, but it's well out of the way and chooses to ignore it. Jack, meanwhile, just great firing lanes here. Really cutting them down. Look at this.
Oh, bad luck. Aries getting overpowered, gets the Razor Shield too late. So this is going to be the biggest lead that either runner is going to have going into tank trouble.
And Aries dropping that orb. Oh, that is a rough one. We'll have to really hope that tank trouble is generous with the weapon drops.
Absolutely here, and he's going to have no orb. Yeah, he was almost home free because he was getting overpowered in the middle there. That Razor Shield came maybe 2 seconds too late, as he's going to be about 17 seconds back of Jack.
I think it's more than that. I think it might even be 21. It's very sizable. It's almost a full bonus room. Either way here, Jack getting nothing early, and it's just he's doing the Jack thing. He's ignoring the gunners for the most part. If he's not, if things line up badly here, he's either going to lose an orb or his life or both. But so far, he's taking care, and there's the nuke he wants. He should be able to get rid of one gunner with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aries getting no weapons, and now he gets clubbed down. So right now, he is not getting the drops he needs to at least keep pace with Jackimus. Now he gets rockets. If he can start chaining rockets, he may have a shot at cutting some time on Jackimus' lead.
Oh no, Jack has played this very well. He has built this lead, I'm telling you right now. Look at this time, 4:18.
That's his best. That's his best time going into Mutoid, man.
Clubbed down. Oh boy.
82 seconds. 82 seconds. That is what Jackimus is looking for if he wants a tournament record. So here we go. And that is not the start he wants.
He has been having awful early luck with Mutoid. There is a lobber, and Mutoid again takes out the orb. No ball buster again.
And it was just too close, and he got flexed just like the last race there, Brysolf. But he is chaining lobbers, and that's what you want to do when you're not seeing a spreader.
Mutoid has been flexing like Gary Stridham. Wow, take a look at that.
I get that reference. With that said, Jackimus has popped the first arm. We should have ride this lobber to a second arm pop. So basically a two-form lead here. Aries is going to have to hope for some good spreader luck to make some time up here, or hope Jack goes dry on the weapons.
It's certainly not over yet, but time is running out for Aries. He needs to see a spreader soon. Otherwise, Jackimus is going to close this out. Brysolf's prognostication will be completely true.
Well, it's weird that I would actually get it right to the point there. Jack missing some lobbers there, not banking off the wall. And now he gets a spreader, and I think he's choosing to go with the manual here. I think I like this decision. He knows he's probably in the lead and is really just wants to keep the weapon damage piling up. Does take a death there, but will maybe get that lobber? Yes.
Very good. Didn't really get a lot on that spreader. And of course, now he gets a spreader when he absolutely doesn't need it in a prime position.
Aries takes the death here. Yeah, Mutoid's going to block that. No chance.
Yeah, unless he gets about 10 empty drops in a row, Jackimus is moving on to the money rounds.
And indeed, at any second here, these rockets will finish the job, and we will have our 12th competitor for the money rounds. GG to Jackimus here, going to take it home as Aries gets a spreader. Too little, too late.
Too little, too late indeed. But I'm going to tell you what, I think the turning point in this match, Brysolf, was game number 2. Aries had a chance to steal a game and equalize the match at 1 apiece, but then he got run over, and Jackimus was able to sneak through the back door to take the commanding 2 games to 0 lead. And in my opinion, that's what the difference was.
Wow, that's Jack having some fun with some newer Doom game video of what he did. And I just can't wait if I ever plan for what I'm going to do. But that's neither here nor there. We will be looking at the bracket here once we're done, as Aries is just finishing things off. Unfortunately, this will be the end for Aries, a worthy new competitor here, making a solid showing and just coming up one round short.
Just a couple of games short as Mutoid Man goes down for Aries. So it'll be a little under 730. Runs into the mine just for show.
And we'll be finishing up with a 727. So there you are. I'm just going to talk to them real quick, and then we will take a look at the brackets. I believe